Hello, everyone. It's the Distinguished Professor. Welcome to my channel. In today's session, we'll be reviewing a Kevin Samuels video where he speaks to a woman who refuses to compete, but is wondering why she's getting passed over. Common thread in today's society. Well, before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're not tardy for any one of my sessions. Now, I'd like to give a special shout out to all my men of class. That's confidence, loyal, ambitious, assertive, strong, and strategic. In addition, I'd like to give a shout out to my women of grace, gentle, resilient, attractive, compassionate, and elegant. Now, as always, I may interject here and there, but for the most part, I'll save my commentary to the end. Well, without further ado, let's get started. Class is in session.
I'm starting to see as a Black woman dating that we are kind of at the bottom and we're not like the first selection. When I walk in, we're not the
You're not the first
to
selection of
that.
whom?
I would say of Black men. I'll say of not of all men, but I mostly focus on Black men. That's who I prefer. But a lot of
Black
them,
men marry Black women at an 86% rate. What are you talking about?
you do have a point there, but I'll just say yes, they do marry them, but as far as like desires or preferences, as they would like to say, a lot of them like our look or like our charisma.
And I'm going to pause it right there. One thing that it's not going for right now, men look for women being fit, feminine, and friendly. Right now, she's definitely friendly, seemingly, but she's not fit. There's some things that we need to work on there so that she's able to compete for a better man. But let's continue.
But when it comes to our attitudes or just the way that we communicate and work with them.
So when you say somebody walk in the room, how can they tell that about you?
Well, when I say like walk in the room, I mean like when we walk in the room, men are coming up to us first, if that makes sense.
Who are they coming up to first?
I'll say most of the time it's like Mexican, Latina girls or Caucasian women.
Man, listen, ain't nobody checking for this big heifer when she walked through the door. They're gonna look at him like, oh, Shirley just walked back in the door. But ain't nobody checking for her. She need those women she's talking about, like Latinas and probably white women she's gonna talk about. Those women are probably in better shape. So if she puts herself in better shape, she can also be looked at in the same light as these other women. I just don't get it. Like, get yourself together. Like, I know I need to get myself together. Get yourself together, girl.
I'm going to ask you a straightforward question. Are these women more physically fit than the women you're talking about?
In some cases.
Don't give me the special snowflake answer. I hate when women do this shit. Well, it all depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Look, men are visual. You cannot tell me that Black men walk into a room where, all things being equal, all the women in there are 5'4", dress size 4, and they just go to the white women and Latinas. That's not even how we're built. Are the women you're talking about that are getting passed over physically fit? 5'4", 120 pounds, dress size 4. Yes, no.
No.
There you go. That's why you're getting passed over. Because 80% of you are overweight. But you put it off on race. And that's a cop-out.
I wasn't saying like...
When I gave you 86% of Black men marry Black women at an 86% rate, you still found a way to make your argument.
I was talking about communication and like how
there has to be an approach before communication.
True.
You said that they're not even approaching, right? Well, how can you communicate if there's not an approach? You can't. So if a black woman in your circumstance that you're talking about gets approached, then the issue becomes what?
Well, I'll say with my experiences, a lot of men my age aren't really looking to settle down or be serious. They're kind of wanting to play the field. So I feel like that's where the communication,
But you said these men are still approaching white women and Latinas.
they are. And they
See?
go and they settle and
They
have a
settle?
family.
They do what? They settle.
Not settle, like settle down. You know what I'm saying? Like get
Man,
married,
man, okay.
build
You, man, what you
your
just said makes no
family,
okay, man. What you just
more
said makes no
kids.
sense. I said after they approach,
Mm-hmm.
and then what? You said, well, most men my age aren't looking to settle down. They're playing the field. Then I said, well, what you just said is those men are approaching white women and Latinas. Yes, they are. And then what? And then they get them and they settle down with them, meaning that a black woman could have been settled down with two. It's not the youth, it's not their age. See, what black women never want to deal with is the fact of the matter is your fitness and your attitude are your biggest problems. If you would be as fit as your competition and as friendly, cooperative, and submissive as your competition, you would win the majority of your men like any other race of women do and have done throughout history.
But that's what I was referring to with the cooperation and the communicating. That's where it goes wrong.
But it goes wrong from whose standpoint, the men or the women?
I could say both. It
No, you can't say both because you just said these men go off and settle down with white women. See, the more y'all do this bullshit, both. It's always both. Why can't you ladies just hold yourselves strictly accountable? Because you're losing to other women. The higher up your men go, especially your generation, more and more guys are saying they're not even starting to deal with women, black women, because of your attitudes. You
that's
know
what I
this.
was saying with the
Well,
communication
then you have
and
to fix it. Because if they're not dealing with you, it's not as though they're not dealing with any woman. So let me ask you a question. Are you saying that the men in your generation are choosing to have no woman, or are they dealing with women other than black women?
they're dealing with women other than black women.
Then right
They
there
will,
tells you, then right there shows you the problem. They're dealing with women. If you had said they're choosing to not deal with any women, then you could have made the argument. But now if they're dealing with women other than black women, why not understand why? Like I said, number one, are they as fit as your competition? You said no. 80% are overweight and 80% of that number are obese. You've heard black men talk about the attitude. You've been on this channel listening to women who don't even want to smile. And when I start asking these specific questions, you want to go down to both. I don't, this is what happens to matriarchy, where you can't hold women accountable. They never want to get down to the point. The problem is on your side. The men are still getting with women, yes or no? The young men are still getting with women, yes or no?
mm-hmm,
Yes or no?
yes.
Right. So they're going into the store to buy something. They're walking out with a Becky or a Marisol, and they could have had a Kenya. So it ain't like they walked into the store without money and not intending to buy. You got to make your product better.
But that's what I was saying in the beginning. It
Okay.
comes down to the communication and us cooperating with each other. And
No. It comes to you cooperating with us. See, that's why you keep going. See, you keep
well,
talking
how
like
can
we're
you have
part. You
one-sided cooperation?
well, you don't have a choice. See, you're losing to Marisol Mylene. You're losing to Becky, Marisol, and Mylene. See, you keep saying cooperate with us. Why does he have to cooperate with us when he's going to go over to Marisol and she's willing to cooperate with him? He's going to go to the situation that is going to cooperate with him, then he has to cooperate with you.
But if you're cooperating, isn't that a team effort? So doesn't it take two?
Well, if
How
that's the
can
case, you shouldn't be losing. If what you're saying is the case, all things being equal, you should not be losing to non-black women.
But when I speak with most black men, they don't even want to cooperate with us. They already have it in their mind that, oh, it's
Where'd
just
that
not
come
going to
from?
work.
Where'd that come from?
I'm not sure where it really. I think
It just
social
came. It just
media.
popped in their head. It just came from nowhere. One day they just woke up and said, "This is what it is." No, because they've
I
grown. They've
really
grown
do.
up. No, I'm going to tell you where it came from. This is very conversations where it came from. The inability for you guys to be honest. These guys are your brothers, your cousins, your neighbors. They went to high school with you. They went to junior high with you. They went to elementary with you. They went to pre-K with you. Their mothers are you. Black men know black women intimately well because black women run everything in the black community. So if black men in your generation are choosing to not even deal with them, it's not because it doesn't come from somewhere. And you're talking about we need to cooperate with each other. Ma'am, if you're on the losing end of a relationship situation, if you don't get black men, what is your option? White men, Hispanic men, Asian men, Middle Eastern men? They are not running over to the hood or the neighborhood to scoop up black women in large numbers. Is it starting to sink in yet?
I I said in the beginning that it already sunk in with me, and I'm realizing that we just don't cooperate. I don't know.
Well, when
You
you
know,
said we don't
important to
cooperate,
me
you
that
said we
it's
don't
just
cooperate with each other.
yes, we do not
and
cooperate with each
and
other.
that's
The
the point. And that's
communication is
and see,
lost.
the point is not we don't cooperate with each other. You women don't, black women don't cooperate with black men. You must cooperate with us first. This is
But
about
I know
order.
plenty of black women that would not mind cooperating with a black man or communicating with a black man. It just takes, it has to be a two-way street. It can't be just receptive on
Okay, I
one
don't
end.
think you're under. I think see again, right there, you ran it into a ditch. I know plenty of black women who would not mind while your non-black competition is ecstatic too. They're wanting to. They're leaving their racial preference of men to come over to talk to black men. They're choosing to come leave their neighborhoods and come get with Jamal. While Jamal's in your neighborhood and you're talking about I wouldn't mind. So Jamal has to ask himself, which woman is more ecstatic, exuberant, and excited about cooperating with me? Kenya or Becky? And by the words out of your own mouth, other women are more because you wouldn't mind cooperating with them. Somebody wants, that means I'll do it if I have to. I'll do it. It's okay. I won't mind. Hey, you want to go to the movies? Oh, I don't mind. You want to go to Hawaii? I don't mind. Hey, you want to go to the movies? Oh my God, I would love to go to the movies. Hey, you want to go to Hawaii? Oh my God, thank you for buying tickets. You notice how different that is? Hello?
So are you stating that it's
Do you
just
notice how different those two things are?
yes, I noticed the difference in tone and effort, excitement. I see it, I hear it. But what where I'm coming from is when you say we have to be ecstatic or we have to be the ones who want to cooperate or to make it work, how can you cooperate or make it work with somebody who already has it in their mind that this is not going to work out anyway? So let me just get in, get what I want, and move on.
Sounds like you got a problem. Sounds like you got a lot of work to do. Sounds like you got a lot of. If you have a, if you're trying to sell something to a market and they already have it in their mind that your product is bad, it's not gonna give me what I want. It's not gonna give me the outcome. And either you sell your product or you go bankrupt and don't eat. What do you have to do? What do you
But
have to
how
do?
can
What do you have to do? Don't ask me a question. What do you have to do?
You have to find out what you need to do to sell your product.
Ding, ding, fucking ding. Black women have to figure out why black men are not buying them. And then you have to give black men what they want up front. Not you can't, I don't mind. You got to be willing to outcompete Becky Marisol and Mylene. Because the problem that black women are having with black men is one that black women have earned. Like it or not, young lady, that's the way it is. And here are your options. If you don't want to earn it, then I'd like to see you go get it with Brad, Ahmed, Jose, or Mohammed. They ain't putting up with it. We all you got. That's why I said you're speaking like, well, we got to do it with each other. No, we don't have to do it with each other. Either you get on our program or you buy a dog and die alone. But I don't think you like I don't think you guys like it, and I don't think they like it in that starker term, guys. You see how it goes down? It's like, well, still trying to make it to where, well, it's not fair. Go ahead and say it, it's not fair. It's not fair. Go ahead and say it, it's not fair. It's not right. It shouldn't have to be. How tall are you?
It shouldn't be that way.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10",
Dress size?
160, 165.
Dress
I'm
size?
sorry.
Dress
Dress
size?
size, 8 or 10.
Mm-hmm. And you were saying it shouldn't be what?
I was just saying it's gonna. I don't understand how we can make some cooperate or make something work with somebody who does not have interest in doing that.
Mm. They don't have interest. You act like, okay, you make them interested. That's all you got, ma'am. I don't know how you do it. You get off your lazy ass and you try. You fail, you try better. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Have you ever had to go after something that wasn't given to you? This is entitlement. You're not entitled to a black man. We don't belong to you.
I
Because
never said that.
because black women have for the longest acted like you didn't belong to black men. So now you're free. It's a free market economy. So now you have to sell yourself. You got to compete. And if you don't compete, if you don't, and if the black man is in your neighborhood and you can't convince the black man in your neighborhood that you're the best pick, you think you're going to go to the next suburb or the next group of men and convince them that you're the best pick? You think those women are going to let you take their men?
I just don't. How do black women act like we don't belong to black men?
God
I see
damn.
black women
Did
as
you
an
not answer the question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you can't get the men in your neighborhood, what are you going to get? You're going to go to the other groups, other races, neighborhoods. You still got to convince those men and you got to compete with those women. I want everyone to understand this is how lazy and entitled the modern the modern black woman's attitude has become to black men. She can't even understand what I'm saying. I understand that she's really confused because it's like, well, I don't get it because you think it should be easy. Ma'am, if every black man today who was marrying age married every black woman in this country, there would still be 2 million more black women left. Listen and listen well. Marriage is not a guarantee. It is blood sport. It is competition. Every woman is not going to win, and you are going to have to compete. All fair in love and war. So, what do black women who want to have a husband, especially if they want a black man, what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to do what? Figure it out. I mean, people in the comment section are saying the same. Lazy. I just don't get it. I don't. They really
How is
want.
that? I just don't understand how is that lazy if we're just saying that it's hard for us to try with someone who literally
So,
doesn't even want to give us a
so
chance.
it's hard. Okay, it's
So
hard for you
how
to
is
try.
that
So what?
lazy?
So
How
what?
is it
So what? It's hard for you to
lazy
try.
then?
It's hard for you to try. It should be harder for you to live alone and die by yourself. So what? It's hard for you to try. Then what?
Well,
Then
I'm
what?
not
It's
saying
hard for
that
you to
it's
try.
hard for
Ma'am,
us
it's
to
hard for you to
try.
try.
We could try,
Ma'am, it's hard for you to
but it's
try.
like
Ma'am, it's hard for you to try. Do you have a college degree?
no.
Okay. Sorry, ma'am. Life is hard. Anything worth having in this life is worth working for. You sound lazy. It's hard. So what? Having If a man had to work for a worthwhile woman, you women would say a woman like her is worth working for. True or false?
Yes.
Thank you.
But I never said black men weren't working for. I'm saying
With
black men aren't
Go
doing
back and look at the
everything
comment
we
section,
would
man. You don't get it.
want.
I get it. You don't get it. And this is how far they're falling, guys. She really doesn't get it. She really doesn't. And I don't
I
blame you for not
understand what
getting
you're
it.
saying, but what I'm saying to you is how can we try and put forth this effort to somebody who's not even receptive to
You first of
receiving?
all, that's a disingenuous ass question. You assume that 100% of black men are not there. I'll give it to you this way. You know how you do it? Because I'm a salesperson. Your job as a salesperson starts when somebody says no. If everybody bought that you asked, there would be no need for you. That means you have to deal with rejection. That means you're saying that how do we do this to a group of men who don't want it? You go ask them what they want. You knock on the door and say, how can I get you to be my boyfriend? How can I get what do you need for me to become your wife? You got to actually go to the consumer. I know it's crazy. You got to go to the person who you want to purchase your product and give them what they want. I know it's wild. You don't go to the market and say, "Hey, tell me how to sell you." "Hey, I got this widget to sell. Tell me how." You go out and do all the research and tell me how to make millions of dollars off you. Lazy.
And again, welcome back. What Kevin said was 100% accurate. And make sure you like, subscribe, go to Kevin's channel. He always had great content. I love reacting to his videos. But what he said was 100% accurate. What I've said is men black men love black women. Black women don't want black men. And what I mean by that is if you really wanted something, you would do whatever you needed to do to get it. Period, point blank. You would do whatever you need to do to get it. And for years, whether it was uh Shahzad Ali or other people, we've said, hey, we don't want women with who are fake. You go get fake butts and fake breasts. We say we want your natural hair. You put on blonde wigs. We say we don't want you wearing all these eyelashes. You walk around with camel lashes on your eyes. We don't want women all tatted up. You go get sleeves of tats, legs of tats, neck tats. You know, so and then when we say we need y'all to do the work, you're like, no, we're not doing that. Or y'all should take us as we are. No, this ain't a Mary J. Blige song. We're not taking you as you are. So women have to do the work. And like you were saying, you need to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative. And a lot of our women are not doing that for whatever reason. I go outside of my apartment every day right here in Uptown, and I see I see Becky running all the time, either whether she has the dog or not, she's running. When I used to go to the Y and work out, women that was Becky's was about to drop their babies the next day, and they're at the Y working out. I didn't see our women out there like that. And if you look at the rates, 56.9% of our women are obese. We're number one in obesity when it comes to in the United States. We have the highest combined rates of overweight and obesity in our women, which is ridiculous. And then on top of that, the young lady said that, well, how do you get on the page with a man if he don't want to get on page with you? And, these dudes are this, that, and other. Well, the number state, and that previous number from the CDC. This is Pew Research. This is from blackdemographics.com. There are 1.5 million more black women than there are men. But the funny thing is 33% of men are married. 33%, as opposed to 25% of women. Some circles it says 26. So 25 to 26% of women are married. 1 in 4 are married when it's 33%. So it's 1/3 of every man is married. 1/4 of every woman is married. So we're doing better than you guys, and you have more people than we do. Makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Why? Because men understand that they will do what they need to do to find the woman that fits what they need. In addition to that, it went down from 83%, 84% of black men that was married to black women to 79%. So black men like, no, we're not going to stand for it anymore. We're not going to take it. We're gonna go find somebody else that we can get that we get on the same page with, which is why they're married at a higher rate. We say don't have kids outside of wedlock. You go have kids outside of wedlock. Makes no sense. We have the highest rates of deletion of babies. 393 babies out of 1,000 we get rid of. This is ridiculous. We lead in all the bad categories, and then we wonder why everyone else is winning. And then you think, oh, we belong to you. No, black men do not belong to black women. That's just getting through here. Black men do not belong to black women. Period. Point blank. There's a reason why T. Hassan Johnson said when he had a African American studies or black male studies class, there was no black women. There was just Becky's and Marisol's. Why? Because they wanted to learn about how to be better women for their men. How many are women? How many Keishas are out there taking classes to learn how to be better for their men? This is not an indictment. This is not a beat down on black women, because there's things black men need to get themselves together on too. And I'll definitely speak on that. But as of right now, in order for us to get better, and in order for us to get back to that 83 to 84% that we were pre Jim Crow and pre 1975, before the Great Society and law passed by Lyndon B. Johnson, we had 83 to 84% rates. The only way we can get back to that is by women getting back to loving their man, honoring their man, respecting their man, and not dating any man. Understand something. You should not be dating a man that for more than 2 years. You need to let that be known up front. Listen, this is 2 years. If I'm not engaged by a year and a half, I'm out, and stand on that business. Stand on it. Because what you do is you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're in a long-term relationship for 6, 7, 8 years. You wake up, you're 32, 33, 34, you're unhappy, unfulfilled, maybe one or two kids. And this is not the life you wanted. So if you want to live the life you wanted, first of all, listen to what men are saying. We are the market. We are the ones that quote unquote buy you. We're the ones who marry you. So if the market is saying this is what we want, you need to be providing what men want so that you can get the results that you want, which for most of you is marriage and children. For those of you who don't want marriage, and for those of you who don't want children, this message does not apply to you. Keep doing what you do. Keep listening to Sexy Red, living your life, putting your head down and working. That's the other thing. A lot of women put their head down from 21 to 35 and wake up and wonder why it's the Walking Dead out here. No, you need to be very, very, very persistent and intentional on what you want. If you want marriage and a relationship and children to come out of that, you need to be intentional and persistent at what you want, just like you are when you're trying to climb that corporate ladder. That's what you need to be able to do. So at the end of the day, men and women, especially in the Black community, we can get back together. I believe in it wholeheartedly. Women, stop dating dudes your age. Date dudes a little bit older, because you're going to get the provider and protector male that you ask for. Men, stop treating these women like they're chew toys. Treat them with respect and stop wasting their time, because it's not fair to them. Women, stop giving your womb out to these Pookies and Ray Rays. It's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. And don't use deletion of children as a means for to not have children as a contraceptive. Stop doing that. That's the only way we get back. And it has to be talks like this where we constantly let you guys know, because we want you guys to win. This is how bad it is. You only remember the teachers that pushed you. Those are the only teachers you remember, the ones that pushed you. And we're going to continue to push you until you get where you need to get to, because we want you. We want to be with you. But the only way we're going to be able to do that and get back to where we were is if we're able to work together. That's the only way we'll be able to do it. And our men need to become leaders as well, and we need to work on that. And again, I'll touch on that in another session. But on this one again, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative. Just get those down. Don't be argumentative. Don't be combative. You know, I get it. I understand it. I know where you're at. But, stop getting these useless degrees. But if you want the results, you have to do the work. Eric Thomas says, "Don't be mad with the results that you get, the results you don't get from the work you didn't do." Again, don't be mad at the results that you did not get from the work that you did not do. And we all need to do the work. But women, as of right, Black women in particular, you're at the bottom when it comes to the categories that matter. You're at the top of the categories that don't matter: obesity, financial burden, consumer debt, college debt. We're at the top. Deletion of babies. Our Black women are at the top of that, and we need to even the scales, and we need to get back together. But I've gone on long enough. I appreciate the Godfather for the content. But yeah, I'm very passionate about our women and our men getting back together so that we can build communities. But hey, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Class dismissed.